The plan before council would be implemented over a period of 7 years. There's a link to the proposal on our website that details specifically what streets would be affected. The Senate broke for its recess Friday without reaching an agreement on a plan to overhaul health care in America. Now, senators return to their home states. Missouri Senator Claire McCaskill plans to conduct between 10 to 15 town hall meetings on health care while she's home over the August break. We've seen these town halls get out of hand recently. One in St. Louis turned to chaos last week. Commentator Jason Rosenbaum looks at how both sides on the health care issue are organizing.
Activism flows through the blood of this country, from throwing tea into Boston Harbor to burning bras on college campuses. Americans who disrespect governmental decision-making have made their displeasure known in often unconventional ways. But clashes between the warring factions of a debate over health care are bringing about questions regarding the authenticity and the tone of organized activism. With Congress out of session, many lawmakers are holding town hall meetings to discuss the issue of health care. The House and the Senate have slowly considered a number of options, including implementing a government-run insurance plan to compete with private entities. As people with differing political ideologies became locked into their positions, so-called Tea Party protesters started coming to the town hall meetings. Many of them used provocative tactics, including interrupting federal legislators to showcase their opposition to President Barack Obama's agenda. In response, democratically aligned groups spurred proponents of the president's health care plan to go to town hall meetings, and the results haven't always been pretty. Last week in Missouri, for example, a forum sponsored by Democratic U.S. Representative Russ Carnahan became so heated that a handful of people, including a Post-Dispatch reporter, were arrested. The town hall skirmishes have led to political teeth gnashing. One advertisement from a Democratic-leaning group accused Republicans of sending out the mob to snuff out President Obama's health care plan. Others are suggesting the protesters are inauthentic frauds pushed by groups with much to lose if a so-called public plan goes into effect. Republicans have also been playing the authenticity card. Elements of the local GOP accuse Democrats of manufacturing anger against U.S. Representative Blaine Luetkemeyer. The Democratic Congressional Campaign Committee launched robocalls against the freshman Republican legislator late last week. The discussion over authenticity certainly makes for good political fodder, but the debate may be concealing a bigger point about how organized criticism sometimes is a forebearer for more widespread opposition. Earlier in the decade, there were massive and fairly well-organized protests against military action in Iraq. Polls showed support for the war in the beginning, leading some to dismiss anti-war activists as boisterous outliers. As casualties mounted, public opinion moved in decidedly anti-war direction. It's hard to say whether organized proponents or opponents are having the same effect in the healthcare debate. But polls show that voters are uneasy about how Obama is handling the issue. Still, it remains to be seen whether these protests are a sideshow or a substantive roadblock to the president's agenda, and it's possible that some spectators may be turned off by unconventional tactics. But if anything, this episode goes to show that activism in America isn't always so neat and tidy. I'm Jason Rosenbaum.
And that'll do it for this week's Talking Politics. Remember, podcasts of this show and all of our shows are available at KBIA.org. Thanks for listening. I'm Sarah Whitmire.
Summer's here and the time is right for races.